I feel like a lot of people after the holiday season kind of have this holiday spending hangover because so many people are spending a ton of money on whether it's Christmas gifts or events or groceries because we're hosting so many people. So there's often this need or desire to kind of reset your finances before you head into a new year. And I do think it's a really important time for that. You have to start taking inventory. The most important thing when it comes to your money is that you know what's coming in every single month and what's going out, so that you can actually create something like a budget if that's a necessity for your household. I think the most important thing is always going to be to pay yourself first. So whatever you do have coming in, make sure that you're putting some of that into savings, whether that be for your future, so your retirement, or perhaps you have debt and you need to pay that off. So making sure that you've kind of figured out what the number one priority is for you. But that will be the first step, is what do I need to focus on? What's the most demanding of me? Because for a lot of us, it is going to be that debt repayment. We have to get a plan going. We have to be on top of that because it's not something we can adjust. You need an emergency fund. And a lot of people are like, well, I can't get ahead. Like, you're expecting me to save an emergency fund? The point of having an emergency fund is so that you can actually tackle those bigger financial goals, because it's inevitable that something's going to happen that's outside of our control. So if you can put $1,000 into a fund that's just for emergencies, like your tire going flat, or you lose your job, or like any sort of surprise expense, that doesn't derail everything else that you have going for you, because you're not going to be able to pay your debt off if you're constantly having to catch up on these things that are so outside of your control. We all have different levels of comfort when it comes to investing. So you kind of want to figure that out first. The very first thing you can do is like, how comfortable am I with investing? Knowing that if you're in your 20s or 30s, you have a ton of time before you retire. So your money's going to be very safe in the stock market, like historically speaking. This isn't just me saying like it's going to be okay. Like historically, it will be okay. So it's worth doing. But I think you need to figure out whether you want to be in control of that money or you want someone else to be in control of that money. We put money on a pedestal. We give it so much power, it becomes this big, scary monster that we don't know how to approach. And so I want people to kind of take money off the pedestal and recognize that it's a tool. Because once we put money on a pedestal, we start to think like, well, if I just do this one more thing, then I'll know enough, and then I can actually do it. We put it off and we push it into a corner, and that's when we get into a situation where we have debt that's become uncontrollable because we've been avoiding it for so long. So I think that paired with compassion is so important. Like, money is not something big and scary that you can't handle. It's something that's manageable. You can manage your money, you just have to take the first step.